Hello everybody, I hope you're having an amazing day, and today I would like to share with you guys my final thoughts on the Spyderco Manix 2. And this one is in the wonderful CPM 15V. As you guys know from my unboxing, I paid a lot for this. I missed every opportunity to get it at a regular price, and I paid almost double for it. But me personally, I am so glad I have this thing now. I don't even care that I paid that much. I am not saying that it's okay for people to do what they do, scalpers as you know they'd be called in the hobby and plenty of other hobbies. It's not the nicest thing to do, but it was an opportunity that I really didn't want to pass up on. So, with that being said and out of the way, I am actually going to be pulling information off of Blade HQ. They were the retailer that I wanted to purchase it from, but of course wasn't able to. I got it from a seller on eBay, of course. So there's that. The price of this guy, when you were able to purchase it, it is no longer available. They basically all sold out within, a span of an hour everywhere. It was $157.50. When I see that price and knowing what I paid, wow. That is an amazing deal for this much knife. This is a lot of freaking knife. And there is an XL version, which is a lot larger. This is already a very big knife to me. I would have no reason to ever own a XL. Would be cool to check one out one day, but I would never own an XL for sure. That's just me. I don't have any hobbies or work-related reasons that would require me to have a pocket sword. The overall length of this is 8 inches. Definitely a full plus size knife for sure. Blade length 3.37, cutting edge 2.88. So, which I don't really feel like that's super accurate. I feel like the cutting edge on this is a little bit more than that. We're gonna go ahead and just say that's a 3-inch cutting edge. Blade thickness is 0.13. Blade material CPM 154. It is a wonderful blade material that was co-developed with, I forget the guy's name, I feel so bad, but he runs a YouTube channel, Triple B, Big Brown Bear. He is just an amazing individual. I've watched a lot of his little short content, and he puts his knives through what a lot of people would consider abuse, and nothing that I would ever bring myself to do on any of my knives. If you gave me a knife and you told me this is indestructible, take this to a paint can, I wouldn't do it. Whether I paid money for it or not, I wouldn't do it because that's just not me. But regardless, he does a lot of really crazy testing on different blade materials, mainly the 15V in most recent years, and it's something that it has been such a wild success with Spyderco, with just this first example of it, that this year, I believe at SHOT Show, they revealed that they're going to be doing a PM2 and a Shaman version of it. It has the same brown G10, and it's going to have this very fine, let me wipe this thing off really quick. It's a little dirty. My voice is still in the process of coming back from a recent head cold or whatever the hell it was. My fiance is unfortunately still sick, but she hates taking medication, so she has relapsed probably twice at this point. Well, that's her fault. Well, there you go. You guys to see it a little bit better. It is a very tight grain of a stone washing, and I love it. I think it's actually pretty cool. In more natural light, unlike what I have going on here, you could actually see the belt satin underneath it. At first I was just kind of like, it it looks a little cheapy. It looked like they didn't finish it completely. It almost looked like an unfinished product. But after using it, I was just like, you know, I don't really care. This is such an awesome knife that, and it has, to me, a more preferred finish, tumbled finish. And honestly, it looks pretty darn cool at the end of the day. Where was I at? The weight, 4.13 ounces. Nothing too crazy, feels right. This is, again, a large knife, and it doesn't feel substantially heavy. It doesn't feel like a brick, and it doesn't in the pocket. I wear Dickie and jean pant material a lot. I've never put this in my pocket when I was wearing slacks. I definitely wouldn't carry this to a nicer outing. Unless I dress it up, which I will be planning to do eventually. This is going to be a keeper for sure in the collection. Going to see a lot of modifications. Stuff to the hardware, the cage, the ball, the spring, the scales, of course, the clip. I'm just gonna, you know, go for it. Just all of it. Just completely different knife. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. And that's about it. Manufactured in the US, which is always a plus. And now I can put my laptop away. So let me bring forth some wonderful size comparison knives. Let's start with some other Spydercos. This is my PM2, my beautiful PM2. Quite the same size, just of course a radically different design. Both, a lot of people would say they're very tactically inspired. Me personally, I think that the PM2 is a little bit more for more delicate slicing tasks, and this is definitely going to be a much heavier use knife. So my modifications and stuff are going to keep that in mind when I go to, you know, get aftermarket scales and parts for it. Another wonderful Spyderco. This is actually my Native 5 lightweight. So as you can see, they share a lot of the same DNA, but just with a little bit more grip, and I mean grip and jimping everywhere, which at first I was just like, yeah, this is kind of a lot. There's a lot going on here, but it's really not that bad. It's not uncomfortable. This is actually a very comfortable knife. This is my Demco 8020.5. As you can see, the manix is just ginormous in comparison. Last couple knives here. An Elementum, a very common favorite knife of a lot of people. And last two have some Benchmades. Osborne 940, about the same length, but definitely a skinny knife in comparison. And a bug out. So this thing is, it's a big freaking knife, and I love it. It feels awesome in hand. And later on, once I kind of go back and forth between the two, let me see if I can actually pull it out of my pouch here without ruining everything that's in front of me. But I have here my Doug Ritter Hogue RSK MK G2 quadratic equation and Magna Cut and the carbon fiber scales here. These are two, in my opinion, very similar knives. They both have crazy cool blade material. The action feels similar, not the same. And they both just have a lot of wow factor to them. They're both large knives. They both operate very similar. This has a ball lock. This has a axis styled lock, crossbar styled lock. The motion to disengage and engage is very much the same, but of course they're designed completely different. So there are weak points and there are strong points to either design, but that's a video for another time because it's probably going to be a long one. This isn't really going to be a long one by any means, but I feel that deserves a different, a separate video. So something you guys can definitely expect from Spyderco is a lot of blade branding. I personally don't really care for it. I don't think it's necessary, but it is just what it is. You have a little Spyderco CPM 15V. Don't mind the black markings. That's from my Sharpie that I just never freaking cleaned off after I sharpened it. I've only sharpened this once because that's all it needed to be sharpened, and I've just been stropping it. I have a little pocket lanyard strop. This is the NAF's Co lanyard strop, and then I have a little CVV Ostaf Hell designed little bit there, and then this is just as me supporting people that I do. RGT, they had a little batch of clips that there was a mishap with, and I bought one of them just to have. That's it. But having that little strop and putting a very fine, tightly grained, polished edge on this thing, it's been wonderful. It's been absolutely great using this thing. Just a couple swipes on that strop just to knock off any little debris that's on there. I'm talking like little flakes of cardboard and plastic, even some like more denser plastics. It just goes back continuously to being a screaming sharp edge, and it pops hairs quite easily, and it's just super cool. There are a lot of people out there like Neves Knives, for example. Jared, he can do some incredible stuff, freehand sharpening. Me personally, I'm not there yet, nowhere near that. So he had I think he did a YouTube short and an actual like full-length video of him sharpening this thing, and he just, my unit will never be as sharp as that, but good enough for me. So taking more closer looks, there is laser engraved, I believe it's laser engraved, the BBB logo with the bear. At first I was just like, what the hell is that? And then I realized it's a bear. Let me see if I could focus on that. Yeah, there's that. Golden, Colorado, USA, Earth. Who would have guessed that this knife was made on Earth? Looking at all the crazy ass jimping all over this thing. This thing is just completely jimped out. It's just missing some here. I don't know why they didn't just go and put more jimping all the way down here or in here. I might as well have at this point. It's just a joke. But it's definitely well appreciated. I don't really think it was all necessary to put jimping anywhere from here down, but it's not in the way. It's not uncomfortable. Everything is very well finished. These scales are very well finished, and there are very large pockets in these steel liners for some significant weight relief, which is cool. Get this ugly hole in the handle, unfortunately. That's just something a lot of Spydercos have for lanyard lovers. So me personally, I don't really care for lanyards. There's maybe only like 1 or 2 knives in my collection that I would ever consider. This is definitely not one of them. With having the clip positioned the way it is, this is of course a stock clip. I'll change it eventually, but it's been serving its purpose, and it's actually pretty darn good going in and out of the pocket. Very comfortable, very easy. Didn't have to bend it out. It's not a tapper or anything like that. It works, and it's great. The only little modification that I had to do to this knife, and it was a modification that was recommended to me by a wonderful viewer who always comments on everything, and very wise individual. I take a lot of his recommendations and a lot of his advice because, well, he knows what he's talking about. I decided to clip off, I believe it was 2 rounds worth of the spring, because at first it was good, and then it was harder and harder and more uncomfortable to disengage it. Now it is super clicky and flicky. Like, I could just play with this thing and nonstop all day. And some people will say like, oh, it's a knife, you're not supposed to play with it. But it's just so comfortable, and it feels like such a refined item that I could just play with this thing all day. And with it having this tumbled finish, it knocks down the hole, which a lot of people would know that a satin finished Spyderco hole is very sharp, and it flakes your nail off like crazy, and it will wear down your callus very easily. Because this has that added tumbling, it doesn't ruin my nails. It doesn't mess up my fingers or anything like that. It's wonderful using this thing. and it is on washers. This is bearing action, and it's essentially stayed that way since I got it, which is absolutely incredible. No side to side, nothing up or down, no movement in the barrel. This has got to be the highest quality feeling Spyderco that I have to date. And I've owned a lot of Spydercos, not like a crap ton, but a significant amount. I have a handful of native 5s. I have my PM2. I have a little native. I have like a Delica. I actually recently gave my black and teal Delica to my little sister because she really needed a knife. And I, of course, have my Lynch Northwest Mod V2 Delica. I love that thing. It's definitely more for nicer outings, at least in my opinion. So I've experienced a healthy amount of Spydercos at this point, and this is one that just, it doesn't feel like the rest to me. Let me know if you guys, have similar, thoughts on that. But yeah, that's really it. I don't have much more to say about this thing. It's pretty centered for the most part. I think I might be able to mess with that a little bit to get it perfect. But as this thing sits, I really think the only thing that it needs is maybe a slightly lightly weaker spring. If you take out 1.5, 2 coils of that spring, this thing is just perfect. I could just do this all day and it doesn't irritate, flake off any nail, and it locks up just as strong. Now over time it might weaken a little bit, but a spring costs a couple bucks, maybe even a couple cents, depending on where you can get it from. And this knife is actually very easy to take apart. It was very easy to take apart and put back together. So it's not something that I would shy away from, and it's definitely going to be super exciting when I get all the parts and pieces together to do a modification video. Hopefully you guys will tune in once that video does come around, including the other video that I have lined up to do a comparison to this guy here. I think there are a lot of great points that I want to bring forth that are quite obvious here. But I just want to get my 2 cents about it, and that's really it. Keep a lookout. Put your name down for any emails, notification lists, and things like that, because there's going to be a PM2 version of this and a Shaman. I'm really gonna go for that Shaman because I don't have it. It'd be cool to get that PM2, but I can't justify getting both, especially at the same time. That's gonna be like almost $500-600 worth of knives, and I'm not down for that in one sitting at the moment. But I definitely want that Shaman. I think it's going to be a wonderful addition to the collection. I know that that's a much larger, harder hitting knife. So wish me luck, guys, definitely. But as of today, this is all I have to say for this thing. It's a wonderful knife. And just speaking about the design, if you guys have been questioning whether or not the Manix 2 is a good knife to buy, yes, this is an awesome knife. And before this even came about, I swear to you guys that same week I was going to buy just a all blacked out S30V Manix 2, and that was going to be my Manix. And then I heard that this thing was coming around, and I was just like, you know what, I need to figure some stuff out. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you have an amazing day, and take care.